We have another track here. Looks like we found some of the lost refugees. Corpses of the elderly and children. They must have lost their way in a blizzard. Let's hope at least some of them survived somewhere in the wild. We have to keep looking. Well, we got... Oh, that's something. We have a lumber mill here. A seemingly dead and frozen lumber mill stood upon a nearby hill. We didn't notice any movement. We entered the main building and came upon the place of a massacre. I had seen some grisly sights during the war, but this was inhuman. Whole crew eviscerated. Whole except one man. He was still alive, but wounded and half frozen. And we need Lazarus... we need to come back when Lazarus likes us a little bit more. Let's do that. Hopefully Lazarus is going to have something to say about these refugees and stuff.
He casteth forth his eyes like morsels. Who could stand before his cold?
There, remnants of a campfire. Probably belonged to our missing refugees. The tracks lead toward that cave over there. But what is that among the ash? Human femur, all charred, and with teeth marks all over it. We're doing some serious anthropology here. Analyzing all the bones and whatnot. It was more of a deep crevice than an actual cave. We called, but no one answered. If any of the lost refugees had ventured here, they would have had surely fallen down into it, tripping on the ice-covered rocks. Only a very skilled climber would be able to scale down there without a rope. So I need a rope, or I need deer to really like me. We'll do those things all in due time, and that is an objective up there. Let's not mess with it. Let's see what this is. A group of soldiers had set up camp nearby. I remembered the war good enough to recognize negligence when I saw it. The camp was dirty, poor, and the number of soldiers too low to maintain it.
Nothing like the army life, eh, boys?
The soldiers were wary as they saw us approach, but seemed to quickly understand that in their shape it would be unwise to antagonize us. In the end, they let us in, as long as 2 of them accompanied us with rifles at the ready. Apparently, they answered to one Lieutenant Drake. Also, they mentioned a quartermaster who could use our help regarding his dwindling supplies. I'm going to visit the commander. Lieutenant Drake was a tall, serious, and somewhat melancholic man, but he had a spark of intelligence in his weary eyes, a rare thing among the brass. He offered us some thin coffee in his tent. Why are you here, Lieutenant? I can see this winter is bad for your people. We are hunting a dangerous group of natives. They call themselves shadow dancers or something of that ilk. But when this cursed winter kept getting worse, we were forced to entrench ourselves here. The worst thing is that we lost most of our horses in those damn blizzards. We were hoping to buy at least a dozen from the local rancher, but cannot spare even one man to go and settle the deal. Do this for me, and I'll make it worth your time. I'm gonna agree to see the rancher. We'll try and look into it. Let's visit the quartermaster. When we entered the quartermaster's tent, we were welcomed by empty shelves and crates full of spoiled potatoes. I'm going to ask about the dwindling supplies. The quartermaster was running out of supplies for the soldiers and would reward us for bringing him any provisions. We do have provisions. Do we need them? No. The quartermaster was so moved by our generosity that he allowed us to pick merchandise from his, quote, special unquote inventory. That's very nice. He should have healed me, though, for free. That would be really good, but unfortunately, not to be the case. We have nail bomb here. No quest items or anything. We have a sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, we got some interesting things in here, like a chain gun. Perhaps for later. And we have horses for soldiers. I mean, we don't have the horses, but we're gonna get them because we have a mission. As we rode through the frozen lake, we met a group of hardy fishermen gathered around a hole in the ice. They looked pretty relaxed, and we could see that their baskets were full. Ho there, having a really good day, I see. The merry company welcomed us warily but warmly. After a while, we were handed some rods and encouraged to try and catch something for ourselves. I'm going to join the fishing. We agreed and joined them, but Clalish was the only one who managed to catch anything. Just as she was pulling out another beautiful lake trout, one of the men slipped and fell in head first into the frigid water. I can jump into the water. I could use a rope if I had one, but I would lose it. And if deer was an ally, I wouldn't take damage from this. But that's fine. I'm going to jump into the water. Jin is going to take damage. For Christ's sake, people. Thanks to our quick reactions, we managed to save the poor fool. His friends rewarded us with food and some booze. We left soon after. With food, which is pretty good at this stage. Although we probably would have benefited more from a rope. Keller's farm. To call it, quote, a farm, unquote, would be an overstatement. Bunch of barely holding buildings and broken fences. Whomever runs this place, it would be whoever runs this place, isn't doing a great job, because whomever would be for the object of a verb rather than the subject. But that Keller guy wasn't all bad. He was eager to trade at least. I'm going to talk to Keller. Hey, hello, how can I help you folks? I'm going to chat with Keller. How's life in Oregon, Mr. Keller? Oh, it's hard. Hard life, friends. Here in the north, everything wants to kill you all the time. Nature, natives, beasts, but the people are the worst, Mr. Carter. Mark my words, people are the worst. And we got food. Do we have food? We have a Tatanka liver over here, which is a thing. I don't want it. We also have smelling salts that cures things. It costs a little bit of money, so I'm not going to mess with that too much. We do have bandages for free or for cheap. Keep getting those. Oh, they don't stack. Why would they stack, right? Why would they? See you later, Keller. I needed a rope instead. It was a small and cozy ranch, ran by a trapper named Bergson, a big man, taller than any of us. He used to trade his old trader equipment for cash. Yeah, what do you want? Small talk with Bergson. Let's do that. Anything you'd like to share about the region? We have wanted killers on the loose, aggressive natives prowling the wild, and avalanches rendering the trains useless. At least the weather is changing again. Here's to hope that this crazy winter will finally pass. And we got a rope, finally. A single one, though. Provisions 35, yeah, it's much better to heal rather than using the provisions, which I figured. Oh, they do stack. Look at that. That's brilliant. That is pretty good. And we also have a wild buffalo thing. But we're good. See you later. Thanks for the help. I will see about the rope thing. I forget where the rope was.
If I'd wanted to freeze my ass off, I'd have stayed in Chicago.
Well, you're here, so let's go to the hidden cave. Inspect the area. That's what it is. And now I can use a rope. You can trust me. I know my knots. So who wants to go first? At the bottom of the rocky crevice, there was a single young man, alive but barely. He had frostbitten fingers and ears. Once we warmed him, he woke, thanking us with a thin voice. For some reason, Laughing Deer seemed tense around the survivor.
It is obvious that he only survived because he ate the flesh of his fallen comrades. Such an act will surely make him turn into a Wendigo, a carnivorous demon. We should kill him now. Save him and his family the agony.
I too watched the 3rd episode of Supernatural and know much about the Wendigo. Also, it shows up in other places, but that's the first place I saw or I heard the word Wendigo. This is not our decision, and we do not know if the curse would work on a settler. Let's bring him back to his people. Let them deal with him. So I need to get Laughing Deer to like me more by killing the cannibal. Also, it's worth pointing out that drinking would be the biggest problem of surviving rather than eating. Although it is possible that there's water in this cave. which is normal, because that's how caves are made. Water. Water makes them. Well, most of the time, anyway. I won't risk anyone at the Zeki's trading post. Do it quickly, dear. Then we'll bring the bad news to his family. And we can go back to the trading posts. Let's talk to the Kalakala refugees and tell them that nobody survived. We found tracks and campsites, but all it led us to were corpses. I'm sorry. They're all dead, killed by hunger, cold, and desperation. The refugees weren't really shocked about our revelation. They lived in Hard West long enough to not expect much hope in life. You don't expect hope, you have hope. And then that's because you expect it. Whatever. They rewarded us with what they could spare. Snakeskin boots for extra speed. And $25, which is pretty good. Let's talk to Zaki here. Still can't get any of the nice things, but it's not. This is not really what I want. What I want is the other rifle. That's it for now. Thanks for that. I'll see y'all later. I have other places to be. Ooh, that's our main objective.
Oh, we need to get out of this shit.
Let's not go into the main objective. Let's go into this one instead.
Can you see anything?
The Shadow Dance camp was neatly hidden. Only due to Kalalish's skills were we able to find it. Their numbers were strong here, and we dare not approach. I am very sorry to have bothered them. We have a lone stranger out here. We stumbled upon a lone settler in a hole-ridden hat. With a hole-ridden hat. He looked as if he had been half-eaten by mice. He seemed cold and was cursing under his breath, seemingly struggling to dig in the frozen ground. What are you up to, partner? The stranger jumped and threw both his hands in the air. He wore no weapons, but the flimsy shovel. We managed to calm him down a bit, but he had trouble relaxing, looking at our posse. We can help each other if you promise not to rob me, kind sir. I promise that I won't rob you. What's the problem? Last year, I buried my family savings here, beside this rock, and now that I so desperately need them, I can't dig through this godforsaken frozen ground. Help me and I'll pay you. I can ask Bill to get to work. What do you think, Bill? We need someone strong and exceptionally resilient for the job, if you know what I mean. Do I look like a goddamn mining mule, Carter? You're lucky I like you, kid. Now hand me that shovel and move aside, pansies. It didn't take an hour, and we managed to dig up a crate holding some cash and boring trinkets, as well as a pretty nice shotgun. The stranger had offered $75 for our help. That's not much, says Lazarus. I'd rather prefer the gun, but a promise is a promise, right, Carter? It does 2 damage. A stubby version of a standard shotgun shoots much faster, but reloading it can be damn slow. What do you mean reloading it can be damn slow? It only does 2 damage. I don't really care for it. Yeah, I'm gonna uphold the promise. Right, my word means something. Good luck to you, sir, and next time consider a bank. Indeed. It was a small and cozy ranch, ran by a trapper named Bergeson. It was... No, we have a lot of money. This is beautiful. This is quite beautiful. It is indeed aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. Let's not go there at the moment. We have all of the main quests that we're supposed to do.
I think I spotted something.
Oh, did you?
That direction.
No, not that direction. He doesn't point it. He doesn't point. I think it's this one.
Keep moving your toes, even as we ride.
Horse ranch. It was a rather small, secluded ranch ran only by one man. But he was good at his job. He managed to keep his horses healthy and fed, despite the weather, thanks to a barn full of good hay. He didn't use comas properly, though, which is unfortunate. He had other problems, though. And we're going to enter the ranch.
What are you looking for in that damn weather, huh?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna explain about the thing, the situation.
So they need horses. And what do I care? My daughter's sick. And even all of their so-called military exchange builds won't buy the medicine I need. Help her, or get lost before I grab my gun.
I'm gonna treat the rancher's daughter, then. The little girl was very sick and needed treatment. And for that, we need a wonderful tonic. Or we need Lazarus to like us. So we'll come back later. Don't worry about it. Well, that is the horses for soldiers thing. This is definitely a thing. Can I rotate the camera? I can. Oh, we go up?
I
No.
walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah, that does look to be what that is. Moving on then. We have Okane's farm.
Yeah.
Potentially pronounced differently. The ruins had to be old, very old. I had never seen a real cathedral, but the majestic silence I felt around there made me think of them. Let's approach the ruins. As we rode among the stones, we noticed an altar similar to the one the Shadow Dance was using during their ritual. Scattered around there were corpses of at least 4 armed and well-equipped men. Let's search the bodies, and we get a Widowmaker for that, which is a better version of the weapon that we have.
I knew these men, says Lazarus. They were tasked by Brass & Co. to help me oversee Delir's experiments. Let me see, yes, right here. This clump of bent metal and crushed glass, this was one of Solomon's contraptions. Siphons, he called them. Someone killed them all and destroyed the machine. So we're gonna need to get Flynn to be partner, and then we can do another thing over here. That's good. All in due time. All in due time. We got a Widowmaker. That's pretty important. It's pretty important. Don't worry. We're not gonna miss anything. And we're gonna go to Okane's farm over here. Lazarus led us northward until we saw a snow-covered farmland in a cozy valley by the frozen lake. According to Lazarus, this land belonged to Okane clan. That's not a name of a person, is to the Okane clan. It's important to say that. He suspected they were behind all the strange disappearances around Pine Falls.
You don't get it. These are not simple, hardened farmers with guns. These people are fanatics. If Moses O'Kane would tell them to set themselves and their own families on fire, they would just do it. They are mad people. Treat them like rabid animals.
Well, I didn't say anything. It's a simple, completely unsuspected farm. Unsuspected farm.
You don't get it.
I don't. I think that's for later. Don't worry. Well, I think that means we still have some things to go to. But I think we're going to need to do the main quest first.
When will we finally camp?
We happened upon a weird gathering. A small group of settlers approached the chief of a native village. The settlers seemed desperate, and the chief and his warriors were getting angrier with every minute. And I'm going to approach the village. Let's see what that's all about. Is this game written by native speakers? Native English speakers? Or did they just write it once and didn't go back? Because, you know, lack of editing would do this. Because that... Like... It's not a character trait. Jin doesn't speak bad. He just... You know, we're going to see what that is all about. If you ask the question, you put the verb before the subject. So it means, what's that all about? Question mark. That's basic grammar. Although, it is easy to make the mistake. I make that mistake every once in a while myself when I'm speaking. Not when I write. Although, also when I write. But then I reread things and then I correct myself. Either way, whatever. Let's see what that's all about. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, God bless you, mister. Please help us convince them to trade with us. We brought silver, guns even. We only want the food to survive the cold. That's all you people do all the time. You want, you need, you take, no more. Go somewhere else with your cursed weapons and trinkets.
The chief is right. Let's remove your folk from the village before they decide to use those guns.
Come on, those settlers have hungry families. I'm sure we can come to some kind of understanding, says Lazarus. Well, that is important because we don't need to make the choice. Because we're an ally with Klalish. I can just ask Klalish to mediate both groups, and I get loyalty for Lazarus and loyalty for Laughing Deer. What do you think, Klalish? Is there a way to mediate this? Klalish was happy to help. She sat with the chief and the leader of the settlers to negotiate a deal that satisfied both sides. Even Deer and Lazarus were happy with the outcome. That's not what compromise is, but that's a win-win situation, I guess, I suppose. I guess I suppose.
Who could stand before his cold?
And now here we should be able to do the treatment. We are not able to do the treatment. That is all right.
Walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
That is all right. So here in our inventory, we just have that. What I want to see is I want to see the distances and stuff. Laughing Deer is now an ally. Yeah, Lazarus. It's 2 points that I need to get him to be an ally. And it's all right. Let's camp and have a chat with Deer here about his past.
Have you heard about the great leader Diving Bird? Everyone from every nation respected him, even your people. Rather than call for war, he worked for peace. He inspired people to hope that we might one day learn to put our conflicts behind us. He was a fool. As I said, Diving Bird was a fool. There is no coexisting with the settlers who ravaged our land and slaughtered our people. You are a sickness that will one day poison the very earth. Makas saw this. So, he sent me to kill Diving Bird. And I did.
I was wondering if work out our conflicts here being just the Native American countries and nations would work out their conflicts and oppose the invaders, because there was quite a lot of war. And I think there was quite a lot of war as well while the English and the British were moving west. I think even during the whole thing, there was still war between the different nations. But I don't know, because I'm not American. I didn't learn American history. It's definitely a huge blind spot for me because I don't know things. Lazarus wants to talk, though.
Death. Death is important, Jin. Don't you think? Death brings order to life. Just as all things have a beginning, they also need an end. One that we all must face, along with whatever judgment comes thereafter. And the fact that Mammon is messing with something so basic as that is more dangerous than you could know. Ever hear about the Undertaker and his son? Supposedly, those two made pacts with the devil and death himself, then fought for the fate of purgatory itself. Of course, it's just a story, but folks say the Bible's just a book of stories too. Stories have power, and they give it to those who tell them best.
The stories give the power to those who tell the stories best, I think is what he's saying here. And, yeah, it's interesting. I think that's an interesting take, isn't it? Anyway, that's his thing. Let's do this lumber mill, I think. Yes! Yes, indeed. I'm going to ask Lazarus to help, because there's one man that's still alive in the middle of this massacre. I asked Lazarus to use his treasured healing powers and save the man. He didn't like the idea of showing off in front of a stranger, but trusted me enough to comply. Thank you. I thought I was a goner. By Jove, it was terrifying. We heard a howl, an inhuman howl, and then they were inside. Huge beasts, all claws and teeth. Just look what they have done to my friends.
I was hoping he was mad. The idea of such beasts prowling the snow-covered landscape chilled me worse than the wind. Even though his story it's like bears, maybe. Or a howl, it could be a wolf. At least the grateful lad pointed us to some drugs hidden in the office. We left him, assured he'd be able to return to his family by himself. And we get a wonderful tonic, which is good, and allows us to do another mission. And the character heals 4 HP at the beginning of the following turns. That is a really powerful healing item, is what this is. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Rather, use it. It's here, I think. We're going to enter the ranch, treat the rancher's daughter. There it is. Instead of having Lazarus, we're just going to spare our own medicine. The little girl was very sick and needed treatment. You're in luck. We're carrying something that could help. Here, take this. God bless you. And to think I was ready to shoot you on sight. Give me them military bills. I'll eagerly trade a dozen of my horses for the life of my girl. Tell your lieutenant we have a deal. I don't remember his voice, but there it is. Now we can go back to the commander, who is all the way over there. So, and we are going to be able to buy the super gun. We're also going to be able to... Oh, that is very expensive. I didn't realize it was that expensive. That's all right. Visit the commander. Lieutenant Drake was a tall and serious man, and I'm going to report about the horses. We settled a deal with a rancher. You'll get your horses soon. Now, about their reward. Splendid. As promised, here's an exceptional piece of weaponry. It belonged to our captain before the damn cold took him. Or I could give you $80 instead. So we got a Desert Ranger instead of... No, yeah, I'll take the gun. That's a beautiful piece of iron, Lieutenant. I'll take it. So that means... I still need to track the robbers down, don't I? That means we didn't get money, which is a crucial detail. We have 2 Desert Rangers and 1 Widowmaker. Wait. The Widowmaker is a new one. Bullseye chance buff. Yeah, it's pretty good. It does only 5 damage, though. But in comparison... Oh, yeah, because I have other weapons equipped in my characters. We're not going to worry about that at the moment.
I can't feel the cold, but looking at you makes me shiver.